Hello, BookTube. How are you all doing today? I thought once again I would make some videos just to talk to you because it calms me down. And I have a video to do today that I didn't expect I would have to do. I have a package, mail to do on Sunday. Once again, a package came late out of nowhere, and so we have mail on a Sunday. It's just one, but we haven't done a one book mail haul in quite some time. So let's see what we can find is in here. Oh, oh, wonderful. Oh, isn't that nice? I tell you, book publicists are the nicest people. I recently got the second book in this series. And this is The Legends of the Condor House, of the Condor Heroes, by Jin Yong, translated by Anna Holmwood. And I recently got the second book in the series, which I don't have it here. Something Undone, I think, A Spirit Undone or something like that. But this is the first book, A Hero Born. This is the lovely trade paperback of the first book in the series, which I read and very much liked, but didn't keep. And I couldn't find it here at all. So the publicist, great, sent me one. So this is the remember when we were looking at the second volume, the advanced copy of the second volume. I don't have it with me here. When I was reading through the publicity material for that book, I was a bit confused as to what the fantasy element was. The description seemed to go out of its way not to include that. I noticed that that's not true for this paperback of the first volume, because this one comes right out and says it's a world where kung fu is magic. Kingdoms vie for power, and the battle to become the ultimate kung fu master unfolds. So that goes a long way towards answering my question. It'll be answered anyway. I will gobble this down. In fact, I'll probably read this today. I'm in very much the mood for fantasy novels. After his father, a devoted Song patriot, is murdered by the Jin Empire, Guo Jing and his mother flee to the plains of Genghis Khan and his people for refuge. For one day, he must face his mortal enemy in battle in the Garden of Drunken Immortals. Under the tutelage of Genghis Khan and the 7 heroes of the South, Guo Jing hones his kung fu skills. Humble, loyal, and perhaps not always wise, he faces a destiny both great and terrible. However, in a land divided and with a future largely unknown, Guo Jing must navigate love and war, honor and betrayal before he can face his own fate and become the hero he's meant to be. And I was reminded of when I was reading this the first time. Can't wait to read it again. Can't wait to I seem to remember that the cover was a little bit different to the hardcover of this. I don't really know for sure. I'll have to look it up and see. But I was reminded of Barry Hughart, who's a novelist. I don't imagine many of you will know. He did a series, I think 3 or even 4 mass market paperback fantasy novels set in an ancient China that never was, that had fantasy elements woven throughout it, and I thought they were really good. And there was a lot in here that reminded me of this. There was also a lot, if I remember correctly, that left me feeling like I was missing out on something. There was a distinct feeling there, and I don't blame the translator. I think it's just one of those things, one of those cultural things that can't be translated. I will see. I will go at this again. Well, that's wonderful. Okay, 300 million copies sold worldwide. That's incredible. Well, this is the lovely thing. I don't remember the hardcover looking like this. I remember the hardcover spine looking like this, but not the cover design. Maybe the cover design was redone to look like the second book, which we noticed. Remember, when we saw it come in the mail, we noticed that the second book is not going to be a hardcover. It's a paperback original that's coming out. So I'm glad to have this because the second volume is indistinguishable from this now. Great. All right, well, that is our book in the mail, and it is. I was worried that if we did just one book, it would be something totally undiscussable, something that's coming out in August that I'm obviously not going to read or engage with. In fact, quite the opposite. I got a book that I would be happy to read today, and should read today because I want to get to the second book right away. Okay, great. All right, so there you go. That is a one book mail haul for you. Done and over in less than 5 minutes. That doesn't usually happen. We'll see what fate the mail takes on in this upcoming week. I think that will tell. In America, anyway. In America, the watershed moment, the thing that broke through about this disease, this virus, the thing that broke through the public consciousness was the canceling of the NBA season and the fact that Tom Hanks has contracted the virus. But the thing that really made it official, of course, was for the President of the United States to get up in front of cameras in the Rose Garden and say, it is now a state of emergency. This is a national emergency. That's when the hordes of Genghis Khan descended on supermarkets everywhere and just cleaned them out. Utterly ridiculous, panicked behavior. That is dangerous. It harms the people who can't rush to the store, the old people who are the primary targets of this disease. I think that's when it became official, and that's when a lot of people decided, okay, well, if it's a national emergency, then businesses, I think, a lot of businesses decided, okay, well, then we're going to self-quarantine. Everybody here is going to self-quarantine. So I imagine that starting on Monday, starting tomorrow, things will look very different. They won't be limping to a close at the end of the week like they were last week. Tomorrow will tell the tale, I think, of what it's going to be like here, at least in the short term. If epidemiologists are correct, then things are going to get worse in America, much worse, before they start to flatten out. And so next week, tomorrow morning, won't be definitive, but at least will show me a lot of places. I think there will be very little activity. We're going to have to come up with other things to talk about than the mail. Fortunately, we don't have any problem when it comes to that. There are plenty of books in this room alone that we can talk about. So I'll wrap this up for now. It's a one-book mail haul, and it's a good one. It's a bullseye, because I will get right to this. So there you go. That's a mail haul, but I have a lot of other things, a lot of other bookish stuff I want to talk to you about. So I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.